She asked, can you talk about setting KPIs and OKRs before finding product market fit?
Ooh.
You want to take on that one, or do you want me, Raz?
You can start.
A fun one.
It's a little bit of a tricky one.
All right. So it depends. Before I find my marketplace, I actually like to do a POC still. I gotta have some sort of feedback from somewhere. One of the best examples that I've found so far was this idea creator, the founder of one of the companies that I'm working with right now. He actually started out the company by feedback. He had a fan, followers in Twitter. He expressed his concern and opinion about a topic, and everybody went boom. Oh my gosh, somebody has to do something about it. Somebody has to create, I wish it had blah, 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 blah. And that entire trail, right, of this Twitter followers created the company that we're working with right now. And a lot of them even became investors for the company, which is immensely like a turnover around Wall Street, because this isn't common. This isn't the normal, let me go get investors. No, it was already funded out of a social media tweet. So you already have growth in there. You already have expectations. You already come with a suite of features. The problem is, how do you identify how to define a KPI if you don't even know which persona you're going to focus on? See, we tend to make the mistake a little bit and say, these are the KPIs that I'm going to use standard. I want to grow new people. Okay, you have new customer growth and you have people coming in, but what's going to happen if the majority of the people you're bringing on board are freemium people, right? A lot of product managers are not thinking that not everybody wants to pay a standard package for something. And then we have to break away from like packaging a product as a monolith, rather than saying I can create features and add-ons that I can add on to a service, something that some people would pay for. And now my KPIs look very different from the bubble KPIs. And that goes with, you know, how do we move into the future? You got to move into the future by thinking that maybe you also introduce crypto payment methods, right? And if you do that, you have a niche, and now you have different KPIs set from those that are the standards. I'm going to offer standard method of payments for my product, and those are freemium. And if they want to enable this, they get this package for a month. And now you define your KPIs very differently.
Yeah, I was thinking it's kind of a chicken and egg problem to some extent. It'd be fun to start with some key metrics that you want to impact, and then back into some kind of product that can do that. I think that's an interesting intellectual exercise, and it may have some practical applications for sure. I would say though, most importantly, KPIs and OKRs are something that ought to be flexible as well, right? As the business evolves, as you learn more about your users and their preferences, and I think you may have touched on this already, Dalia. Your KPIs have to keep up with it. So the conversation about, is this the right thing to measure now that we've evolved to this next level, right? Is that the right thing to measure now? Are those the right indicators to follow? And of course, as a company grows, you know, from seed to series to IPO, right? Like those indicators can and must change as you go along, right? Because you're proving different things at every stage of growth. As you, right? Like at the seed round, you're not trying to scale. Right?
Exactly.
You know, and
you
so
haven't even penetrated the market yet.
Right. So I kind of see them as like two planets having gravitational force on each other, you know, bobbing back and forth and influencing one another. Is this the right product? Is this the right way to measure the product? We've evolved. The product has changed. Are these the right metrics? You know, kind of back and forth. And I think that's one of the key roles of product folks, is to drive those conversations within the organization to evolve, right? Organizations inherently want to be static because there's structure and there's predictability in that. And that's what business looks for. Nobody would want to invest in an unstable business, right? And so there's this sort of bias towards stability and towards staying. And product is there to keep nudging and keep pushing, keep evolving the organization. And those are some of our tools, right? The product, the metrics, the data that supports it. and then keep having those conversations to make those changes and evolve the organization.
Yeah, I think just to give them at least something, right? Some of the things that I use, because I was having this conversation not long ago, I'd say like maybe even a day ago, where first of all, you have to identify, are you penetrating the market? Is this product like something that it's already out there and has a lot of competitors in it? Because that changes your metrics by a ton. If you do have a lot of solid competitors out there, you have to be able to offer something that can distinguish you. Now, it doesn't mean you have to wait until you have that full feature parity set to be able to penetrate the market. You can actually have, like I was mentioning, that niche of people who believe in you, believe in your product, believe in your company, you know, and they're like, I can see where this is going. I can see the value, right? And then you can start using metrics that are on your base product, right? So you have to split your product in your value prop and identify within my product or suite of products, which ones are the ones that are the revenue driving, right? So that you can focus on revenue producing activities as if you were making investments, you know, in your portfolio. But that's how you go. You go with revenue producing activities. And then you say, okay, if these are the revenue producing activities, I can release them into the market, have my alpha and beta users, and I'm going to be tracking how many people are truly hitting the tools that I think are going to make me money, even though they're free, right? Because one of your metrics would be actually having subscribers that you're retaining over long term. To Raz's point, it's going to change. You're always going to have to change your metrics, but you've got to start with that data. You got to start looking, are people truly hitting it? And if they're hitting it, are they actually staying and being proactive about it? Is it taking them long? Do I have many complaints? From my perspective in a brand new product, I look for that. You know, if I have too much feedback on, yes, this is good, but if I see that, but that's definitely a clear metric to me that there's something wrong with that product and I have to work on it a little better. And if people are coming, but not quite playing with it or coming back during the day, I definitely know that I need to enhance. And that's how you start growing your metrics until you get to the point where you are there and people are paying for it. And if you're increasing the price on it, you're also watching out, are my subscribers leaving? Are they referring, right? So there's so much involved in metrics, but at least that's where I can start from a high level to give you a little bit, because we could have a whole class about it.
Yeah,